All right, hello everyone. So today is 12th of July, so let's take a look. I'm not in a rush today because I think the action should be properly around the New York session, beginning of the New York session. It's also an option. Now this is gold. Now with gold, remember, Monday was a swing day. All right, so that's Monday bouncing exactly at the Mercury and Saturn line here. All right, so going up in that direction. So what to do here as well? So if we've got room to go up there, we can still kind of push up. As you can see, the market is pretty loyal to our 80 AM lines. I said 1938 before, and today it was 1941, and it just bounced off from 1941 there at Astro Hours. Actually, it's 1941 there, and that's your Astro Hours. So if you actually sold at the top at 1941, you should have taken a good trade, but the market's going up, right? So we're looking for a buy position on this one. So where can we buy? Well, we can buy at the lows here. So this is actually an Astro Hour here, and it's an Astro hour, but technically we could come a little bit more down. It's just did a bit of a filling gap here. This is where Asia session took off, so not a bad spot to kind of get back in the game here as well. This could take us up as well. So this zone 1249 I've got here, and for gold also, what have I got for gold specific? I've got 1016, which is already done. 1050, 1051, 1204 actually. If I was to bring this here, 1204, let's just do this. Now the yellow lines are gold specific, okay? So 1205 is not a bad spot, and 1250. So this zone's okay for gold. And so this could kind of like take us up back into that zone. So this might be a good place to get back in the game to follow the trend going up. And same also with these lower levels here. All right, so whenever the market comes down here, we can kind of like push up. If this low level works, then it should take us into the New York session as well. All right, so we could probably get our heads in there as well. And this is gold specific here, as you can see, and that's 10. What was that? That's 10 o'clock there, and 1051 we've got here as well. 1051 is on that bar actually. 1051 is there. Okay, but this one looks like a good kind of situation here. So around this level, which is 1250, okay, around 1250 might be a good way to kind of like enter the trade, okay, on gold to push back up. So where can I push back up into? Okay, if I go back into the daily, as you can see, you've got targets all the way in there. All right, so there's room to cover all the way into that low level there, and that's going to be around 1948, but we should end up at 1950, 55. Okay, on the weekly we don't really have a target, but 1948, you can put that in, so that'll give us $8. Further from the high that it made, let's just bring this down a little bit. 1948 is going to be around here, okay, and also 1954, 55 is going to be on the cards. All right, so this zone I think is okay to be going long as well. Euro dollar. Now with the euro dollar, let's see what we've got here. Oops, sorry, this is SP500. Let's see what we've got with the SP500. Now with the SP500, let's see the weekly. On the daily, we're right breaking out above the PST, so you don't want to be mucking around there, okay? And here, also, until the 23rd of July, we might be hanging around here. Okay, we might be hanging around here. We're going to be looking for shorts in these zones. So it looks like this still has a bit of room to go up. Okay, if it gives you the opportunity to go long on the pullback, it should later on. Remember, Monday was a swing day for this. So Monday swing day. So it was swing day for the indices. I'm sorry, for Nasdaq and Dow Jones, and SP 500 got the next one's going to be tomorrow for SP 500. So maybe we'll probably go higher until Thursday. So don't stand in front of it if you're going to trade it. And if the market comes back, and if you want to buy into it, you probably can do so. Where should it come back down to? Maybe in the New York session, we should come back down. And if you want to do any selling, you got to be doing it around that 1250 zone there. Okay, if the market starts to fall off from here. Okay, but like I said, don't stand in front of this one as it's breaking out. I wouldn't sell it. If it comes back, look to buy into tomorrow. So you got 4,450 here. Also, if you take a look at your weekly, that's 4,456 monthly. Sorry, we've got 4,486, 4,495. So 4,486 and 95. I like pushing it in there, okay? And this zone, remember, the marked in zone there. Around there, okay? Could that still happen? Well, it could still happen until Thursday, not a problem, okay? So if the market comes down, going back up to follow it into that blue zone, where are we? Onto that weekly blue zone, it's not a bad idea. All right, you can see the pin bar happening here. There are no gaps here. It's pretty much all filled in, okay? But a bit more push up and then selling off would be the way to go, okay? And that's that. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Now with the euro dollar as well, got the same kind of thing. Now this is a sell zone for us, okay, as you can see. So we're going to look for special situations where we can sell off with the euro dollar, okay? Now with the euro dollar until lunchtime, I wouldn't do anything, okay, which is around here, especially until you want to wait till 1:35. Because from 12:50 is a regular hour, but this 1:50, 1:33:34 is a bit tricky, and it might kind of like break out and push out. Okay, so as you can see, it's a bit tricky here. All right, so I wouldn't rush into it. Also, on the smaller time frame, you see the market can go up into that 1042 levels there. When you look at the daily, it's above all these levels here. So the only thing we've got is this wick here. All right, so it still may have some room to go up, and you don't want to be standing in front of it either. This is the weekly indecision bar here, as you can see. If I wanted to make this a little smaller and take the body, this is how I do it, okay? And so this is, this may still have room to go, as you can see. Okay, so you don't want to be mucking around with it. Just, we don't have a PST level. We don't have a stop level here. We've got just this here. So the only thing we can do is if it gets to the white line on the weekly, we can think about selling then if it's an astro hour as well. Other than that, I'd just wait for a reaction and just don't stand in front of it. Okay. Yeah, not a good idea. If it comes back, do you want to buy into it? You can, because at the end of the day, euro dollar, the swing day for the euro dollar I gave you guys was Monday and Tuesday. So Monday did the low. Okay, so Monday or Tuesday, Monday did the low, Tuesday going up. So this could pretty much go up until Friday as well. And making a higher high, as you can see on the daily, still telling us we can probably go even higher. All right, so into this zone. Okay, so pullbacks are probably okay to go long. Afterwards, we'll come back into this zone here. I can actually mark that in as well here. Okay, afterwards we should dip back down here. Okay, and that's that. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and Bitcoin. Right, here we've got Dow Jones. Okay, so from the lows, as you can see, the market's also going, looks like, into that zone on the daily. That's 65, so 34,634, 34. Let's just come down here. 34,634. Okay, so this is a bit, let's see on the weekly. Yeah, we've still got room. It's a bit of a sell zone here, as you can see, right? And we've got equal highs as well. So this is going to break out. Okay, the price should break out. All right. And then once it does, we should end up somewhere around here. So there's liquidity here, so we should end up here, sweep the high as well. So this will probably head upwards as well. 65, we should note that down. 34,634, 34,634. All right. So if the market does come back down, going long is not a bad idea. The daily pivot zone looks okay to do so. Also, yeah, probably around here as well. If the market comes back in the New York session, if we come back down into the opening, the daily pivot, I think we're okay to be pushing up as well. Okay, on this one. Nasdaq. Now, since they're all going up, this is also going to be the way to go. Okay, if the market, let's see, this is the target, we've already done that. Okay, so if the market does come back down, going back up is an option. So this is not a bad spot. As you can see, there's liquidity here. No, not liquidity, there are gaps here. So if we come back down to the weekly pivot, the daily pivot, I think it's okay to go up as well. If you take a look at NASDAQ, we're in a sell zone here, but you see we're right on the edge here. 62, 15,171. So 15,171 is exactly on the daily PST. So if I say 15,171, it's going to be about there. All right. And that's your daily PST right there. 62. Okay, there. On the weekly, they bought right on there. So I talked about the market coming up into this zone for the good buy kiss on the price. Okay. And that was 123, and that was like a target there. It already did that. A bit of a sell reaction. But now, as you can see, we've got still some room to go up, looks like. Now, that daily hasn't broken yet. Until the PST breaks, for me, it's a bit of a tricky situation because there'll be resistance here. Okay. But if all the others are breaking out, this would also break out, I'm thinking. And since the price has broken out, maybe this will kind of break out here as well. I don't know. Okay. On the weekly, if you think about NASDAQ on the weekly, we can still go up. We've got room. This whole thing is anything can happen. If I'm to fill in the wicks, let's fill in the wicks. The low of that is 15,500. Okay, so 15,000. No, not particularly, because they're filled in here. They're all filled in here. Okay, so the only thing can happen maybe from there to there on the weekly, and that's just like far out. Okay, but then we need to have a big fall down. Okay, because this is going up to be sold. You can see how nice it's rushing. So we should probably have some kind of a place where the market should kind of like sizzle down. Let's check out the monthly. Yeah, and this is the zone here, 15,382. The low of that is 15,500. All right, fair enough. So we'll have to check it out. Okay, this could have room to go up into 15,500. So if the market does come back down into Astro hours, looking to go long is not a bad idea. Either just be mindful on these levels here, because this is where the PST level is 15,170. Okay, and 15,500 is quite a fair bit up. So you have to be careful there. All right, but if it comes back down into the daily, weekly, fills in a few gaps, as you can see here, then going up is not a bad idea. All right, and 15,500, as you can see, is like quite way up. So I'm not sure if it'll go that far. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the weekly, as you know, this is like a resistance zone here. Okay, so if it breaks above that level, obviously there'll be room to go, so don't stand in front of it. On the daily, we're still in this zone. So buying the lows, selling the highs is okay, since we're the resistance level there. There's some gaps here on the daily. They'll want to come back and fill up, like I always say, sooner or later. So in the meantime, it's a bit of a dangerous situation. I talked about these levels before. You know, if you're selling at the tops, you should be okay. And then you got to buy the lows. All right, and that's basically it. You can't do anything else here. Come on. Right, so selling the highs and buying the lows until it's going to break one way or the other. There's not much else to do. Here today, the important thing is the daily and the weeklies. You can see that 30,500. I don't know why this is not expanding. Okay, so the market coming into this zone again is okay. So from here, the market may pick up as well. Okay, so just be mindful. If you're going to sell the high, you got to cover your trades where you can take some profit with you. Okay, and that's that. Be careful with this one, because like going sideways all the time. Don't trade in in the middle of nowhere. Or if you're going to buy, just buy the low, sell the high, and also the lows off the whole week. Okay, otherwise you're just going to get yourself crisscrossed. Okay, as you can see, it's not the best. If you're trading in the middle of nowhere, always take the tops and the bottoms to be trading.